What's up, nerds and nerdheads, and we little nerdlings are? To our buddy Big Johnny G from Two Gun Pixie presents Legendary Gaming, and my friends, I am back! I am bursting back! So, me, the 20-Sided Warriors, just finished a brand new game. First time we've played it, and not going to give you the spoiler whether we liked it or not, but we definitely wanted to do this first impression video after we played it. So, why don't we check out the game, and why don't we see who stayed around to do a video. It is true, the Contest of Champions, a Marvel game that's been put out by Upper Deck, who I know does a lot of the sports cards and stuff. This is the first game I think I've ever owned by them. I don't know how deeply entrenched they are in the non-sporting stuff. So I got a chance to sit down and play this. Rob just left, but who stuck around? Once again, we're stuck with these two knuckleheads, Anthony and Alex. Double A.
That's right.
Double A is in the house. Let me see if I can set this up so I can keep it steady for the most of it and keep you guys in it. I can do this. No, you guys don't have to hug.
Well, maybe we wanted to.
Well, we're going to have to charge people extra when we put that on video.
That's the R-rated version.
All right, so we just finished the first game. This is an all-versus-all game. This is not a cooperative game. This is not a helpful game.
It's the games I like. You get to screw people.
Yeah?
Anthony, you've always loved those games.
I like those games too.
So it was a battle royale.
It was.
I was playing the Hulk. Ladies?
After you.
I was playing Ant-Man.
And I was playing Thor.
And then we had Vision, was Rob.
Rob was playing Vision. And actually, Rob left one round, one turn, one action.
One action too early.
One action before the end of the game.
Yeah. He knew the end was coming.
He knew there was no way for him to win.
No.
Yeah, it was crazy.
No, it kind of hurt me a little bit because I was 1 point away. I was so close.
You kept pushing off the points to other people, but we knew your shenanigans.
Yeah.
I didn't know that I was stuck in prison after my first turn for like 3 rounds after that.
All you did was gain points, basically, and sit there.
Well, no, because I kept re-rolling the victory points to try to get freedom.
Yeah.
Anyway, so let's tell everyone what you thought about the game.
I liked it. It's a lot like, we talked about this before, it's a lot like King of Tokyo or King of New York. I mean, it's basically the same dice rolling mechanics as King of Tokyo or King of New York. They set up the board different. It's kind of a little bit more, I'd say, like King of New York with actually different locations as opposed to just the two in King of Tokyo. But they made a lot of changes because the locations give you different... they have different abilities. The cards are very different. You don't buy them. Each hero starts with a set of powers on their cards, plus a set of powers on their board. The board powers are always active. The ones on the cards you have to trigger by matching the symbols on the card to pull them off. And I thought it worked really well. We were beating the crap out of each other and gaining and healing back up a lot. Anthony's case, he just couldn't die. He'd die, and then he had a special ability that kept him alive.
Yeah,
It gives you one more round.
It gives me my hero's last stance, so to speak. I thought the game was fun. It's a game where if you have 5 people, and you're going 5th, you may not actually get to do anything.
Yeah, that's true.
So I was very lucky. Before it even became my chance, I was down to maybe 1 or 2 points.
Yeah.
Rob spared my life. But I like the action. You're always trying to figure out, should I keep dice? Should I re-roll them? In my case only, I had to keep re-rolling just to stay alive in the game. So I basically did no attacking actions. I basically ran around the board like a scared child and picked up points to heal myself.
At the end of the game, though, you ended up getting close.
I was not too far off. I had 14 points out of the 21 to win.
That was
wasn't too far.
That was the highest you got, right?
That was the highest I got. If I broke 9, it was a special day.
Yeah, I mean, you got, what, like 7 or 8 points on that one turn. It was like, from not in the game to, well, he's a contender.
Wow, look at this. Yeah, I rolled 5 of these blue planets over here, which allowed me to skip my way across the universe, and was able to pick up a ton of points that way.
Yeah, because you get points for moving on to each location.
Ant-Man had incredible ability to put points back on himself. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. So I got a bonus point for every mystic symbol that I roll. Well, no. If I rolled any mystic symbols, I got a bonus point. And then each mystic symbol also gave me a point. So it just made it really easy to get points, because if I rolled one of them, I got 2. So it made it pretty easy for me to heal back up. And I mean, typically when we were rolling, we were only getting 1 or 2 of those on each turn anyway.
Yeah,
so
you weren't it seems the dice you always need never come up when you actually need them.
Yeah,
you have 6 dice. There's literally 1 symbol on each side, so each die you only have a 1 in 6 chance of getting what you want.
And then there's 2 symbols that you can't re-roll unless you're special characters that let you re-roll them. So
like my character picked up the green beaker symbol and the DNA strand. If I so choose, I could re-roll those, as where maybe his character or John's character couldn't re-roll those at any point in time in the game. They had to keep them.
Yeah, I mean, Rob could also re-roll the yellow, and he could never be put in prison.
And he could never be put in prison, right?
So that was big, because Rob, I got thrown in prison twice.
Right.
I got lucky and got out, like, the first turn after each time.
Right.
As opposed to John, who got stuck in
we were bunkmates for 1 turn.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Vision, Rob's character is also able to freeze out your special carded powers.
Yeah, twice. He did that twice.
Yeah.
It wasn't enough.
Yeah.
No.
It was...
Ant-Man was victorious.
I was.
Ant-Man won.
I did kind of talk you into that last turn, like, no, you shouldn't attack.
Yeah.
You should just take those.
Yeah. I actually, but I needed points terribly, so there was not much I could really do. I wanted to gain something and hopefully maybe he not win, but oh well. It was a good game overall. I loved it.
Yeah, me too.
So the similarities, and what are the differences that you found between this and Tokyo that everyone's talking about?
Yeah.
Because everyone's talking about how similar it is. What did you find was different?
I actually thought it ended up being very different. I mean, the dice end up working out the same way, but other than that, I mean, and you're still beaten up and healing, so the dice are similar. Powers are basically completely different than Tokyo. There's some powers that require a certain number of symbols. If they come up, it activates. You have to buy them because you have currency in King of Tokyo and King of New York. But most of the powers don't have symbols that activate them. And the ones that do, it's in addition to what these dice do that happens. These locations are completely different. Moving to them gets you points. That's like King of Tokyo, because when you moved into Tokyo, you got points. But the cards have different point values, and the locations also have different effects. And then there was also the bads. The mutants, if you rolled 3 of those, you got thrown in the crystal prison, which was very different.
Right.
And then the science, which if you rolled 3 of those, you blew up. And anyone in your area also took damage. And then...
Big bada boom.
Yeah. So that ended up... I think it ended up being different. I also think it was a lot more... I think it was more complicated and a lot more finicky than King of Tokyo. There's a lot of individual special abilities and keywords that it took us a little while, I feel like.
You had to get a good feel of it after a while. I mean, because not only are you looking on your own little cards, you're also looking at the special abilities, like you said earlier, on each of the cards, the lands, the areas where you're at.
Yeah, and I would say there's probably 20 to 30 keywords. So we got through it. I mean, we've all played board games before, so we picked it up pretty quick.
Yeah.
I feel like, whereas King of Tokyo is a game that I would say is an entry-level game, you could play it with anyone and they can pick it up. I think this is a little bit more complicated, and
Right.
I think it can be frustrating if this is your introduction to board games and you're trying to figure it out on your own.
Well, absolutely. Like I had said earlier, like if you're the fifth person or you're going last and you don't get a turn, that's the only frustrating part of the game. I think is that you may not get a turn to even actually play, even though you're seated there. You're seated there and waiting for your turn.
And that's a problem that King of Tokyo shares too. This went on longer than I was expecting. I feel like King of Tokyo is a quicker game. This, I mean, it took us, what, hour and a half, 2 hours to get through it?
About that.
Yeah.
Which, King of Tokyo is like an hour max. 30 minutes to an hour.
40 minutes.
Yeah.
And if you have good people playing, you're really strategizing. Like, all right, well, if I knock him down a couple of points, I can maybe attack Ant-Man or Vision later because maybe Hulk or somebody else will do damage. So
Right.
you're really... If you get people with good strategy, this game can go on for a while.
And that's another one of the big differences is in this, the victory point track and the health track are the same thing. King of Tokyo, King of New York, they're two different tracks. So there's two things to balance in terms of endgame. So King of Tokyo naturally will come to an end one way or another because there's a separate victory point track. Whereas in this, we ended up going back and forth a lot because it's one track.
Right. Overall, like I said, it was fun to play.
Yeah.
I know John has never been a sports card collector. I used to be back in the day, so to see Upper Deck actually make something in the superhero realm, which I know both of you have said that this is a genre that's kind of been massively overlooked as compared to, obviously, all the other board games.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see anytime you have a character that's familiar to you, it actually makes it a little more exciting to play. Like you get to be Ant-Man, or you get to be Thor, or the Hulk, or Captain America. I mean, it's fun that way.
Yeah.
Easily recognizable characters.
It sounds like the both of you are looking forward to playing again.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I would play this again in a heartbeat.
And this was, what, up to 6 players?
Up to 3 to 6.
3 to 6, and comes with 12...
Something like that.
12, 13 different characters to choose from.
Yeah.
And you both were saying, side of the box. You never know. Maybe these are going to be expansion people coming out.
Yeah.
Well, I did notice that picture of Doctor Strange on the side of the box is this area.
Oh, yeah. It's the arcade.
So we were thinking that maybe that picture, which is upside down, of Doctor Strange might be for an expansion. But as they laid the cards out to do this, I realized that is just this location card here of the Arcane Arcana. But I do want to see an expansion. Now, the inlay is really nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
But there's no room, the way the inlay was made, to fit more stuff in.
Right.
So an expansion will be more space being taken up on your shelf.
Right. Unless it comes with a brand new inlay.
Upper Deck, if you're listening, you could add mutants to this. That's just a suggestion. That's all I'm going to say.
I will say, the rule book was serviceable, but I had questions. Like, I don't think it was the best written rule book. There was spots of it that was unclear to me. And that's a pet peeve of mine, is when I read the rule book and I'm like, and I have questions and I can't find the answer.
And it's still sort of a gray area.
Yeah, and there's a number of those. And it's just also not using the same terminology consistently. Like, they don't use the word move consistently between the special hint card, which is nice. I like hint cards; these are always good. Yeah. And the rule book explaining the same power, like the cosmic. It was the cosmic dice. It specifically says move on here, and in the rule book the language is a little different. And then there's a power that specifically the slam block. You can't move.
Right.
Is the term that they use. So just a little bit more attention to detail with the terminology being consistent.
Almost feels like it was rushed a little bit, the production there, for at least the editing of the rule book.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. I saw you flipping through the book, and there was those couple of, moments, like, how do we interpret this?
Yeah, and there's a couple with the special powers, too, like, the blast term means it hits other locations, but then some of the powers say blast in any location.
Right.
So does that... Like, which one wins? Is it the blast keyword, or is it the special card?
That's right.
So, again, just...
Little terminologies need to be tweaked.
I mean, I'm a rules Nazi anyway, so, like, I'm into rules, and when they confuse me, I get upset, as if you've seen the Thanos Rising one, you know. But other than a little confusion, the rule book I thought was clear on how to play.
Yeah.
I got through it easy enough. I didn't have a problem until the playthrough.
Yeah.
When I realized that things weren't clear. My first read-through of it before I played, I was like, okay, it's put together okay.
Yeah.
But after playing it, I totally agree with you, Alex.
Yeah.
It's not written as well as you think it is once you experience the game.
A little stumbling point here and there.
Yeah, there's just, I mean, and I think it's partly because of these it's largely because of the special powers. Because there are so many special powers, and they are different between the characters, which I like.
Right.
13 characters, they're all different. So, I mean, it's a problem that's really frustrating, but it's caused for a good reason, because there's characters that are actually different, and a lot of them in the box.
Yeah.
And it's also a problem that can, come on, realistically, be easily fixed if they put a little time and effort into it.
Agreed.
So, first impression, we're all three in agreement that this was a fun game. We can't wait to
Definitely.
get it back to the table
Thumbs
again.
up for sure.
Absolutely.
Excellent. All right, my friends, so that was our first impression of Contest of Champions Battlerealm by Upper Deck Games. I'm your buddy Big Giant G with Two Gun. Pixie presents Legendary Gaming, and my friends, it is true, but we will be back. But for right now, we are